and Walter Rouse. Meanwhile, for St. Andrews, it's Blyzen, Spencer Hayes, Kamari Williams, Benny Williams, Chance Davis, Colin Smalls, and Dylan Edwards.
This is a key matchup in the Mid-Atlantic Conference here in the DMV, a very competitive conference, as Sidwell is having an awesome year so far, 15-3. They're in second place, however, in the MAC as they're trying to keep pace with Flint Hill and St. Andrews. They're trying to get into the top half of the conference, as well as they currently sit, I believe, at fifth position.
Yeah, talking to Coach Eric Singletary, the head coach of Sidwell Friends, before the game, he was saying you can basically afford 2 losses in conference play if you want to win the league. And the WCAC is known for being tough top to bottom, but as well, this league is also one of the ones where top to bottom it is highly competitive. As we get set for the opening tip, Walter Rouse there for Sidwell, while Elijah Wood takes the jump for the Lions, and we are underway. Dean Maslish brings it up the floor for Sidwell. The Quakers in the all-maroon. St. Andrews, the home team, in the all-white with the lovely faded-out numbers on the jerseys.
Love it.
Opening possession here. And for Sidwell, coming into this season, as they put up that 3, it goes in. Score it for Afuzi. Achufuzi. There we go.
Way to get a paint touch and kick it back out for the three-pointer. Great offense for Sidwell.
St. Andrews with their first offensive possession. Putting up the corner 3, doesn't go. Rebounded by Jack Lewis. Talking to Singletary, he called Sidwell a UVA comp. They only allow 42 points per game, so defensively built, they will play man most of the evening. As they move this one around the perimeter. St. Andrews has settled into a zone look. Inside spin move, count it, Walter Rouse for 2.
Oh, big man, light on his feet right there. Probably is a ballerina in his spare time.
Very nimble, love it. St. Andrews thought about the pull-up, baseline drive, and that's knocked out of bounds. They're going to say it went off of Blyzen, so that's a turnover.
Yeah, Heru is their go-to guy for St. Andrew, does it all. Even though he's a point guard, he's like their best rebounder. So they're looking for him to really jumpstart their team. St. Andrews playing tough defense, right? Keeping the ball outside of the perimeter.
Sidwell back up top. 3 seconds, got to get it off, and I think they lost track of it. No, they do get it off, and that goes for a shot clock violation.
Yeah, did not hit the rim. Yeah, definitely lost track of it. Got into their offense a little bit late in that possession.
Sidwell showing a full court pressure look as they try to up it and shorten the shot clock, and open 3 ball. And that one hard off the iron. That rebound there by Jason Gibson. And every year, Sidwell always seems to have someone who has next. You had Jamal Lewis way back in the day, and then you had Josh Hart, who you may know as a Los Angeles Laker. And then you had Sadiq Bey last year, and now it's Gibson's team and Gibson's turn as he goes baseline. Can't get that one to drop. But the big guy, Walter Rouse, is there for the putback.
Yeah, Sadiq Bey, he was all-world, all-conference last year. Was supposed to go to NC State. Changed his mind late in the process and went to Villanova.
They're going to fall in Hart's footsteps perhaps as baseline. That's rebounded by Sidwell.
Great defense by Sidwell.
Quakers baseline look. And can't get it to go. And the big guy's there. And he's like Windex cleaning up the glass. Makes it 9-0 Sidwell. What a start. Rouse has 6.
Yeah.
Achufuzi has a tray.
Good timeout by Coach Kevin Jones right there to settle his team down. I don't know if there's a miscommunication. Elijah Wood was pretty upset about something, so they wanted to calm everybody down. I'm sorry, Benny Williams was upset about something, so they wanted to calm everybody down.
Yeah, it's a tough start at home. You can't have a start this way, and wanting to talk it over. Kevin Jones is another coach I've known for a long time. He was an assistant at Bishop Ireton when I was a student there, so I've known him a while, and the way this team has started the game is not the way a Kevin Jones coach team tends to operate.
Yeah, but he's going to settle his team down. He's going to look to his leadership in Blygen as well to calm the team down, get a good possession right here. They've had a good look. Blygen, I'm sorry. They had a good look, especially with number 10 Colin Smalls with the three-pointer on the wing. So trying to get those open looks.
So play resumes as it is Chase Davis running the point. And Coach Singletary talked about his defense, and so far so good, as that'll be the first points of the day. That is Chase Davis answering with 2. Sidwell looking to make a move on offense. They have been fueled by Walter Rouse, the big guy in the post. Gibson puts up the 3, doesn't go. Big fella couldn't get the board, and it'll go back to the Lions. And they'll turn it right back over.
A good look to push the ball up, but as you may see Kevin Jones just say, hey, we can calm down a little bit. We didn't really have to rush there.
And for the longest time, St. Andrews was nowhere near being on the map in terms of DMV hoops. Kevin Jones, credit to him, he was 2015 DMV Elite Coach of the Year, has really built a program here. I remember when their basketball gym was actually resembling a barn on campus that's now demolished. They have this beautiful student center now. And timing-wise, I'm not going to say this is the house that Kevin Jones built, but this is the house that Kevin Jones built. As he's really built something out here. And there's a lot of great schools. You got Bullis amongst others, but St. Andrews in the MAC was an afterthought in basketball, and he's really built a powerhouse. Sidwell, Murray every year it seems. So, and of course St. James out in Hagerstown, Maryland, they've had a run as well. So very competitive top to bottom. A small league in terms of just 7 teams. So for the most part, you look at the teams top to bottom though, highly competitive.
Yeah. St. Andrews was a 2015 MAC champions, I believe. In
That's
basketball.
Correct.
So, yeah, this has been a solid program for the last couple of years.
Yeah, between Sidwell, Murray, and St. Andrews, and then St. James had a run as well.
Yeah.
Right after Montrose Christian folded its basketball program, which had the likes of Kevin Durant. A lot of one of their assistant coaches took over St. James, and a lot of their players went there. So, and St. James has become a powerhouse in their own right. Another 3-ball. Chase's 3 does not go as Davis was looking for that one. 11-2 lead early on for Sidwell.
They're getting the looks, but they're just not falling right now.
And on Monumental Sports Network, we are amongst the fans in the stands, so you got to love that.
Yeah, the student section needs to start making some noise, helping their team out.
Well, if they get too noisy, they'll stand up and then they'll block our view, so maybe not.
Good defense.
And let's check the call. That's going to be a foul. That's the second personal foul, or rather second team foul on St. Andrews. Sidwell very familiar with this court. They won a MAC championship here 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
The day they won the MAC championship was actually the day that I walked over while shooting that game, photos of the game, and said, "Hey, Monumental folks, I can call lacrosse in the spring." And now I'm here sitting with you.
Hey, there you go. You never know. You always have to be ready. Stay ready so you don't have to get ready.
So now St. Andrews trying to dig out of this one, an 11-2 hole, and we've seen bigger leads overcome here on Monumental Sports Network this season. On demand, you can, of course, see Paul VI's 25-point rally against O'Connell on the road. So we've seen crazier things. So right now, if you're St. Andrews, you just want to get as close as you can to end the quarter so you don't have too much of a hole, as that offensive board will be big. Baseline doesn't fall. Sidwell finally cleans up the glass.
A great defense by Sidwell, but if you're St. Andrews, you got to say, hey, we've gotten some good looks. They just haven't fallen. We just got to stay with it. It'll all even out soon enough.
Corner tray doesn't go. Rebound, Lions. St. Andrews going to test the near side now. Lost the handle, recovers. Smalls gives it back up top. That's Davis. Blyzen gets the mid-ranger to fall. And talking to Coach Singletary, that's the guy they got to stop. Of course, a Longwood commit, super talented, and can just a pure scorer from all over the floor.
Yeah. Not just a scorer, too. He's a great rebounder for his position as well.
Sidwell 10 to shoot. They'll go for 3, and they hit it. Nick Lewis buries the triple. $50 seconds to work with, 30-second differential between shot and game. Long 2, and Blyzen heating up.
Yeah, that's what they need to start get going and get everybody else involved after that.
Sidwell started the game on an 11-2 run, 9-0 run as well, and we'll get a foul.
Yeah, I think it's going St. Andrews' way. So they'll probably get the last possession of the quarter. They're going to want to try to cut into this 8-point lead for Sidwell.
That's the first team foul on the Quakers. Likely holding for that last shot. To Davis on the near side. Down to 10. 5 seconds. Davis puts it up. Short. Quakers, and Sidwell won't get a shot off. That'll do it for the first quarter of action here on Monumental Sports Network. Sidwell 14, St. Andrews 6. WGL makes energy surprisingly easy for employees, the local community, and for all of its customers. Learn more at WGL.com. For me, the story of that first quarter was the big guy, Walter Rouse, the senior center. Old school basketball. Forget that Splash Brothers three-point stuff. We're going to get down and dirty inside, and he did just that. And, of course, Blyzen with a couple of answers, and a 9-point game is now 8 at the end of 1, and that's what you got to do. If the game's getting away from you, just chip in, chip away, try to keep it close. Yeah,
when things aren't going right, you're looking for your star paper to make something happen for you. And we have Heru. They got 2 buckets late in that first quarter to help his team get into a rhythm. But like you said earlier in the game, where you had Walter Rouse with the twinkle toes, good moves down low, and when they had the paint touch, was able to kick it out for a couple of threes, and that's how Sidwell has his 8-point lead.
St. Andrews to begin with possession, so they can pick up an extra opportunity here by starting off the quarter. Davis runs the point. Near side corner right in front of the St. Andrews student section. Baseline drive and one. Count the bucket. Dylan Edwards heads to the line for an extra freebie.
And way to go to attack the basket. When your jump shot's not falling, attack the basket, good things will happen. And there you go, you get the and one.
Ooh. Can't hit that one. Rebounded by the Quakers. That's our first missed free throw of the day for St. Andrews. Quakers now trying to find that early momentum. They scored a quick 11 points and backdoor robbery from Nick Lewis, who has 5.
Great motion offense. Way to be patient. Wait for the play to develop and to get the opening.
That's all you got to lock that back door down. Lions, little spin move from Davis. He'll get rid of it. St. Andrews near side. 3-ball again. Yeah. It goes. Dylan Edwards with the tray. The sophomore heating up.
Yeah, coming off the bench with 5 quick points. Good work by him. Oh, nice.
Inside, can't get the roll. And who else? Man. Walter Rouse has 8.
Got to box out the big man, but way to be active. Crashing those boards.
Top the key doesn't go. Maslish thinks about it. We'll pull it down. 6:10 to go, second quarter. Sidwell leads 18-11. Maslish at the top of the key, 10 to shoot. Pulls it back. Rouse posting up. Runs out of real estate, has to kick it out. 3 seconds. And unlike the Saints and Rams game, we'll get a pass interference called there.
And there was less contact there than in that Saints and Rams game, and they called the foul here. Oh, man. I don't even want to talk about that game. I don't even want to.
So we got a 7-point game, 5:54 to go, and the foul gets you an extra 20 on the shot clock, so a little bit of a bailout there.
Yeah, that was a tough possession, especially Coach Jones. You saw me do a little travel thing. He thought that the player fell on his own.
Gibson can't get it to go, and St. Andrews comes away with it. They got numbers. Edwards thought about the 3, goes baseline, and will kick it out.
Good pass.
Corner tray off the back iron, little tap out. Big collision. Bias hit the floor everywhere. Let's see who they'll call it on.
Yeah, probably Sidwell. Yeah, probably called for wiping out Heru, I'm sorry.
It's going to go against Sidwell, so that's our second team foul. Rather, 3 team fouls on both sides.
Ooh, I had it.
Back to Edwards into the corner. He has 5. Baseline. Mid-ranger doesn't go. That's tapped right to Maslish. Ooh. Has space. Turns on the Jets and lays it in.
Did. Way to go.
A senior with 2.
Actually, remember, I ref the game he played. He's actually really good, very heady player.
I didn't know you
with
were
some
a ref.
athleticism, yeah. I try to hide it so I don't have parents coming in and yelling at me.
And that'll be a couple of free throws upcoming. As that's Benny Williams headed to the line. A 6'7" lanky sophomore, and that's a frame he'll grow into and a frame that college coaches are going to be calling about.
Yeah, there's always a couple of good recruits coming here. You talked about it earlier with Coach Jones being able to get guys to come over here to the school that's not typically known for its basketball.
I gotta ask more about Ref Yannick.
You can find me at your local rec center on Saturdays, refereeing 8-year-olds.
All right.
But I was able to do when he was in JV for Sidwell a couple years ago. He came out for a game, I think at High Point, and he ran the show. He probably had like 20 points in that game.
3 ball for the Quakers doesn't go. Tap back. Sidwell on the board. They'll send it up top. Gibson, 3 ball, short. Rebounded by Blyzen, and lay-in goes and one. Way to get up there and way to finish. Colin Not So Smalls.
I think Coach Singletary wants to know what his guy Dean has to do to get a call there. I thought he was in good position, but the refs thought differently. And
of course, there's no restricted circle, but perhaps
it was late.
Perhaps it was just close to the hoop, so they decided to wave it off.
Gotta hit that.
That's the second and one that they come empty-handed on. So all of a sudden, it's a 5-point game. St. Andrews dug its way out of an 11-2 hole. Now baseline drive, and we're going to get a travel.
Yeah. Couldn't really hear the whistle as the student section is getting a little bit more rowdy, supporting their team in their comeback. But very good call. Definitely a travel.
4 minutes to go in the first half now. Sidwell up by 5. Lies in mid-range. And that's the bread and butter
Yeah,
of
I think
his
he
game.
found a sweet spot right there. That pull-up right there.
Get on the elbow and let it go. First time seeing Gibson bringing the ball up. Jack Lewis. Kick out, 3 ball. It goes.
My man.
Maslish from the YMC Center.
Yeah.
That was all your reffing, Yannick. As that one goes the other way now.
I made him who he is today.
Gibson drives, and I think it's a foul on the floor, but let's see if they'll give him some shots. I thought it might have happened before the shot. And I think the refs agree.
Yeah, maybe you should be a ref.
As a sports reporter, I've had my fair share of parents yelling at me.
Yeah, it's
At least it happens away from the public eye in emails and the comment section.
Yeah.
I'll leave the reffing to you. Quakers in the corner, and Gibson saves it. Kick out to Maslish.
Screen and roll.
Nice little screen. Rouse can't quite get open, though. Open 3, though.
Yeah, great
it goes.
offense.
Jack Lewis. And all of a sudden, it's a 9-point game. Starting off as hot as Sidwell did can be a challenge when you lose it, but they've started to ratchet it up once again. Baseline, no call, no roll. Rouse just palmed that rebound, and we'll go the other way.
They just shut down the paint. Nothing easy inside.
2:20 to go, first half. Gibson up top, 10 seconds to shoot. Gibson gets a little screen from Rouse. Rouse cutting, open 3, Maslish. Back iron. Who was that off of? Was it off of St. Andrews? It might have been.
Good eye by that Sidwell player, Jack Lewis. He boxed out. I was like, aren't you going to go get the ball? You don't know who it came out of, but I guess he saw that it deflected off St. Andrews.
That's a fresh shot clock, too. Rouse baseline. Feed the big fella. Get a seal here, a seal there, and you got an alley for Walter Rouse.
Yeah, and Benny, the sophomore, kind of slender. That's a tough matchup for him. This is where he can dominate, though.
Oh, a little too much rotation on that ball as it rolled out.
I would like to see him attack the basket. I think he had the athleticism to really beat Rouse there.
You got to use the shot clock a little bit better.
Yeah.
Maslish drives, kicks it. Doesn't go, rebounded there by St. Andrews. Double dribble.
Great call.
Maybe a little Tom Brady situation, want to take a little air out of that ball. So, got an 11-point game. Largest lead of the evening for Sidwell.
I don't want to talk about that game either.
With 1:15 to go. We'll stick to this one.
NFC or AFC Championship. Don't want to talk about it.
Maslish back over to Gibson. Now Maslish with it. Did he travel? No call, and that is no good.
If there's no call, he didn't travel.
Baseline, it goes in. That's another big finish for Smalls. Let's see if he can add the free throw. This is second and one try.
He's played very well in this first half. He had a couple of shots from three that did not fall for him, but good offense getting himself open and a good take right there.
Talented junior. Gets it that time. He has 5 on the evening.
St. Andrews needs to stop right here. Make sure they don't get it to double figures approaching halftime. Oh,
that's what they need. Takeaway. Smalls is big on the breakaway.
Smalls and Edwards have really stepped up for this St. Andrews team in this second quarter. Stepped out.
That's huge as Nick Lewis lost track of where he was, and St. Andrews could conceivably make this a one-possession game, or rather a two-possession game going into the locker room, but shot clock is off, 20 seconds to go. 6-point game. Yeah, that's how math works. It can be a one-possession game.
You were right the first time. You got to believe in yourself, all right? Come on.
I'm a broadcast journalist, not a mathematician.
Yeah, exactly.
As here we go. 5 seconds. Puts it up.
Tough.
It's short. Oh! Put back goes! What a way to close it out. Elijah Wood goes way up top to finish. And we have ourselves a 28-24 game to end it. Although they have not put it on the board yet, you would think the home team would. The refs are going to talk and head over to the table. Let's see if it counts.
I think they were just slow putting it in. They were slow putting it in.
All right, it does count. So at the end of the first half, it is Sidwell 28, St. Andrews 4. As I'd like to remind you that the future of WGL is the future of energy. Diversified, innovative, and collaborative. WGL works to find you the right energy answers. Learn more at WGL.com. We will take a break and be back with you in 9 minutes and 30 seconds for that second half. Stay tuned.
coaches that don't need to call useless timeouts. Yeah, true. Ready?
We're all standing up in here. Student section, we're standing up. Let's go.
Welcome back to St. Andrews. Yannick has me coming in hot. Brian Kapoor here for the start of your second half, where Sidwell leads, and their lead was as big as 11, and suddenly it's just a one-bucket lead at the start of the third quarter. Leading scorer for the Quakers, Walter Rouse, who had 10. Meanwhile, on the other side, Colin Smalls came up big with 7. Haru Blyzen had 6. Dylan Edwards had 5. 4-point game, start of the third quarter here on Monumental.
Everybody's starting to pick their game up, including the student section right next to us.
They were trying to drop mixtapes on the network during halftime, or podcasts, whatever the youth is into today. As Sidwell hits that one short, recovered. St. Andrews back the other way. Davis into the corner with the pass to Smalls. St. Andrews, again, I believe a 6-0 scoring run to end the half as they trimmed it down, and now Gibson with the board. And we'll get a foul in the open court.
Yeah, Spencer Hayes didn't need to do that. Just move your feet, didn't have to reach.
Coach Singletary for the Quakers, a 1993 grad of Sidwell. Longtime Quaker, bleeds.
Yes, he does.
Bleeds the school's blood, as it were. St. Andrews, go ahead.
Yeah, a little press from Sidwell.
Corner open, Trey goes in. That's what you call a shooter's roll and a home rim.
Good cut.
Gibson, that'll be an offensive. I think he did enough to avoid it, but that's the call. I don't think it should have been called. I think that was a little bit of a floppy flop.
Hey, when I do a broadcast, the refs are never wrong. But I won't argue with that with you.
So, Yannick, Dean Blandino, what'd you see there? So we go back up. Mid-range jumper falls. That's Davis for 2.
And look at that. St. Andrews has clawed their way back to take a 1-point lead.
Yeah, if you're just tuning in, it was Sidwell 9-0, Sidwell 11-2, and then later Sidwell by 11, and now they trail. And that was a tray from the parking lot. What a shot from Maslish.
Yeah, and Sidwell, they needed something to go right. A tough start to the second half. They get that bucket and the immediate timeout to kind of calm things down.
With the lead as well. Like to remind you that you are watching Monumental Sports Network's High School Basketball Showcase presented by WGL. Tune in each week for some of the best high school basketball in the DMV. I believe tomorrow night we have more MAC action.
Yes, we do.
as
I'll pull it up right here.
we'll be going to Flint Hill at 6 o'clock.
You'll be there, Flint Hill and Murray.
We'll actually have Dan Nolan on the call. I was
Yes.
supposed to be on the call, but my other duties called, so Dan Nolan's going to step in and he'll handle it.
Yeah,
As,
big game in the MAC today and tomorrow.
We'll get into that in a little bit. As right now it's St. Andrews up top trying to tie it. That one goes high. Putback doesn't go. Who's that off of? It's going to be off of Rouse, so it stays down here. Good call. See, I can compliment refs.
I appreciate it. We need all the compliments we can get because we never really get any.
Little lob, full shot clock to work with for the Lions. St. Andrews in the white uniform, Sidwell in the maroon. $15 to shoot. St. Andrews backs it out. Smalls.
Yeah, that's
Hits
his
it.
game. He's been killing Sidwell with that dribble drive.
He has 9. Maslish brings it up. Tie ball game, and this is MAC basketball right here.
Gritty.
Sidwell, 5 to shoot. Got to do something. Puts it up. Grazes the rim, although the students think it was an air ball. As that one falls, that was a long 2.
And St. Andrews getting what they want, getting them out in transition, not waiting for Sidwell to set up their tough defense.
Baseline off the glass. The bank is open after hours for Jack Lewis. St. Andrews drives. It is ripped away by Lewis, but St. Andrews somehow gets it back, tipped out by the Quakers.
Yeah, great hands by Benny Williams. He got stripped, but was able to stay with it, get the ball back out to and almost got a turnover with Sidwell, but just his hustle to get it back out was able to keep possession.
How well coached are these teams?
Awesome.
We're midway through the third quarter, and we have 4 team fouls on each side.
Yeah,
One
very
in
disciplined.
the half. And at halftime, we were talking, that was a quick first half. We had about a 36-minute first half, right on the nose. Back the other way, off the glass! He called bank.
Yeah. Got the student section excited.
Some of the kids started doing push-ups. Gibson with an answer.
Oh, this is getting good.
What were you doing in the first half? It was a good first
yeah,
half,
it was.
too.
It was. But I like both teams with the punch and the counter punch.
We've reached that point where during a Rocky fight, it's a montage of just jab, counter jab, hook. It's a big fight feel up in Maryland tonight. Gibson hits it. And as good of a first half as Sidwell had, Gibson, who's their go-to, was pretty quiet. So
Yes.
That's a weapon that's starting to get going, as that's a Jack Lewis rebound. St. Andrews students forgot to chin air ball on him.
Oh.
And that's going to be a turnover by Sidwell.
Yeah, unforced it. That was not a good one.
We're all tied up, 36 all, 3:05 to go, third quarter, and we'll get a
good
time
timeout.
out. St. Andrews, Kevin Jones wants to talk things over. WGL has delivered safe, reliable natural gas service for nearly 170 years. Ask how WGL can provide you with energy answers today. Learn more at WGL.com. And Yannick, we were talking about how the MAC is ultra competitive. And we basically have the top of the league going at it. Tonight, Sidwell takes on St. Andrews. And talking to Coach Singletary, 2 losses is really all you can handle if you want to win the league. Tomorrow night, we'll have Flint Hill against Murray. Murray travels there. Of course, Rico Reed, the longtime head coach for Flint Hill, will have them ready to go. Murray led by Chuck Drizel, Lefty's son. So a big-time coaching matchup there. Fun fact, Chuck Drizel is actually the head coach at Bishop Ireton when I was a student there. Kevin Jones was part of his staff.
Yeah, nice. It's a small basketball community here in D.C., but it's a great interwoven, tight-knit community.
Long shot. They're going to say foul, the shot clock expired before. And one of the, I believe, Washington Post reporters brought up, or someone brought up on Twitter, that a lot of DMV teams were losing as they were traveling to out-of-town teams. And they were saying, is D.C. still a hotbed? Is it fading? And the depth of basketball in this area, other areas might have 1 or 2 teams. The depth in this area is unmatched.
Yes, exactly. And you're probably thinking those areas, the 1 or 2 teams get all the great players.
Yep.
Where you can go to St. Andrews if you're a great player, like a mid-major type caliber, you can probably come here to St. Andrews and flourish.
Just like that, young man. 3-ball, 39-36 lead for the Lions. Yeah, I mean, you look at a lot of these DMV teams. You could even look at teams that are in last place. I bet you they have at least 1 college recruit.
Yeah.
Answer, no. Tip, and it'll be St. Andrews ball. I didn't think Rouse got to that one, but we trust the officials' judgment.
Thank you. They're always right.
Unless they're in the Superdome.
Yeah, that is true.
3-point game, largest St. Andrews lead of the day. And a 2-point lead about 5 minutes ago. Pull up from Smalls, doesn't go. Rebound by Wood. Smalls.
The cut.
Baseline.
Good
Got
finish.
the reverse.
I don't know what was better, the cut or the finish.
Yes. The answer is yes. St. Andrews with a 2-possession lead, 1:20 to go. Little drive inside. Gibson can't get it to go. He'll head to the line for a couple.
Trying to see what's the holdup. Okay, I didn't know.
We have to be quiet during his free throw. You want the ball to be able to focus. He has to focus.
Gibson heckled, but veins of ice water.
Hey, shout out to the student section, specifically the St. Andrews lacrosse team. They were making up most of the student section. A very good lacrosse team. They were the co-champions last season, 2018, and they're here supporting the basketball team.
Gibson calmly gets them both. Three-point game. St. Andrews looking to extend that. Sidwell defense has already given up their season average.
Yeah, they have. Ooh.
Loose ball and taken away by the Quakers. Gibson in transition, can't get the roll. He'll go back to the line for a couple.
Harrow's got to feel like Steph Curry last night when he was going up for the dunk and then just slipped on the key. The paint monster got him.
So 51 ticks. How kind. The line student section clapping him on. Hits it.
And he extend. I'm sure he appreciates the love. It's great. This is DMV basketball. It's a hotbed here. People love it. They are junkies for it.
The St. Andrews student section doing just about anything they can to try and get in Gibson's head.
Yeah.
That time they actually went quiet for it, and he still made it.
Hey, you got to make adjustments all the time. Coaches make adjustments. The student section's got to make adjustments. It's good coaching all across the board here.
Going inside, Quakers with the takeaway. Baseline, Lewis can't get it to roll. Gibson is there. He'll pull it back.
Yeah, good job by the coaches to make the players alert to hold for the last shot.
Situational basketball, 15 seconds. Quakers going to hold for the last one. Little trouble telling time for the St. Andrews student section. Baseline, Jack Lewis will go to the line for a couple. So 4 seconds left on the quarter clock. St. Andrews has Sidwell has led at the end of every quarter. They can do so once again if Lewis can hit these. It appears the St. Andrews student section has given up with free throw heckling. That's one way to silence the crowd, make them.
Yeah, there you go.
And they also seem to have forgot the air ball by Lewis because they aren't chanting air ball either.
They're just being respectful of their competitors.
I agree with them as that one goes in. Student section was praising Tony Romo, and I got distracted.
He was very good. I aspired to be him.
As that one doesn't go in. So Sidwell is going to end the third quarter with a 42-41 lead. And while St. Andrews seeks a way to end this game with a win, are you seeking energy answers for your business, home, or organization? Go to WGL.com today to learn more about their natural gas, electricity, and renewable energy solutions.
So down to the fourth quarter, 1 point game. Going to look for great execution on both ends of the ball for both teams. Sidwell, you think coming in? Sidwell, you think he could will probably, because they're a little bit more methodical, a little bit more disciplined so far. Look for them to really turn that up, especially on defense and lockdown. For St. Andrews, you look for them to try to get it out in the open court a little bit more, get some more easy baskets. And this is a critical game with both these teams jockeying for position, knowing the big game coming up tomorrow with Flint Hill and Murray, which you can see on Monumental Sports Network, 6 p.m. Dan Nolan on the call. At Flint Hill should be a great game. But this is a great game right here. I mean, MAC action. Don't have to go to WCAC to get great basketball action. The MAC, all these different leagues around here can provide you great amateur basketball action.
For sure. And with these guys, this is huge. For Sidwell, I was trying to find Jason Gibson in that first half, and
yeah,
he did make the trip out here as he
Yeah,
started
he
to
did.
take over in that third quarter. It was Walter Rouse show, the big guy in the first half, and now Gibson starting to impose his will a little bit. And if he really gets going, that could be trouble for St. Andrews. But St. Andrews, Colin Smalls has come up big. Dylan Edwards has played well. And Blyzen has been spotty. He got hot at the end of the first half, quiet in that third quarter.
Yeah, and you're gonna look, and Sidwell's gonna look for Gibson to really bring him home right now. Shots weren't really falling the way they wanted to in that third quarter, so they need their star players to really step up for them.
So this will be brought up by Smalls. Baseline open. And avoiding a foul but getting the bucket is Spencer Hayes. St. Andrews leads by 1. Sidwell needs a response. Little spin move. Can't get it to fall. St. Andrews in transition. Davis, kick out. It goes, but there's a foul. Is it offensive?
No.
It's defensive foul. And where St. Andrews says, hey, we don't want that one.
When it sucks when the refs are right in your favor. That's
so Sidwell is going to have to earn this one the hard way. Or rather, St. Andrews, as they just had it. Now it's that bucket didn't go. So here we go the other way. St. Andrews kick out into the corner.
nice.
And that one goes off the glass, and Spencer Hayes is flexing.
Yeah, they got the matchup that they wanted. Dean was on Spencer. That's a matchup advantage for Spencer, and they found him on the post, and he was able to get the and one bucket. Way to recognize that by St. Andrews.
That one falls. And we have a sub. Are they going to let him in? They should.
They should.
And they do. The table was alerting the officials who were unaware. That's the big man, Walter Rouse. And when he's not on the floor, Sidwell really struggles to rebound. So yeah, look at the big man. St. Andrews going to press. They're going to chuck it deep.
Oh!
And he's blocked, but they'll call the foul. And there goes Jack Lewis getting in his face.
What was that?
We got a second whistle and a technical called on Lewis.
Well, I don't know why Jack, and it's right in front of us. I don't know why he came up to, who was number 1? To Chase to say something.
And Singletary, the coach for Sidwell, trying to get clarification on what it was. What did he say?
I mean, but the ref called the foul, so you're gonna get your free throws. Why did he feel that he needed to go? And I don't want to be an old curmudgeon because I like a little bit of trash talk, but I didn't think it was necessary there.
Well, if you remember last time down court, it was Hayes who committed this foul. After Hayes,
So maybe something happened down there.
After Hayes hit that and one, he was flexing and jawing too.
Okay,
So it might have been a little retaliation. It's always the second guy that gets called, though, right?
Yeah. I mean, unfortunate that all that happened because that was an amazing show of athleticism, even though it resulted in a foul on St. Andrew's part.
Hits the first.
Yeah, you would think that one of your senior leaders would act be a little bit more composed.
He got them both, but now we'll shoot free throws on the other end.
So now here's the tech. And it will be St. Andrew's ball after this free throw because of the technical foul.
So some will say, oh, I guess it cost them nothing. It cost them a possession because it should have just been free throws for Sidwell. Sidwell got their free throws, but St. Andrews got free throws and the ball.
Yep.
So it remains a 4-point game after all that.
Yeah, and you would think Jack would have made the free throw, so it would be a 2-point game instead of a 4-point game.
That board goes to the Quakers, pulled down by Achufuzi. Back the other way. Gibson running the point, 6:30 to go in the game. Baseline. Back up top. 10 to work with for Gibson.
That's a weird screen.
And he gets it to go. He took the screen.
Yeah, Gibson starting to assert himself in the second half.
11 points by my tally for him. 2-point game. St. Andrews, great ball movement. Doesn't get it to fall, and Lewis can't hang on to it. It'll be St. Andrews' ball. Fresh shot clock to work with. Davis near side, guarded by Maslish. Pull up, doesn't go. Rebounded there by St. Andrews. Counted and the foul. Another big finish for Hayes, and his teammates quickly grab him and pull him away as he is starting to get intense, and you don't want to pick up a tech.
Yeah, Coach Singletary talking to Rouse. You were beaten on the play. You got the board. He beat you to the bucket. You didn't need the foul and compound the issue there.
Gets it to go. So Hayes has 6 points. Both are 3-point plays. Five-point game, St. Andrews.
Good
But
bucket.
that's Jack Lewis with the pull-up.
Tough bucket by Lewis.
He has 7. Blyzen gives it up. And he's been pretty quiet except for that late first-half burst. Smalls can't get it to go. And Hayes touched it out of bounds. Sidwell ball.
St. Andrews is really starting to assert themselves athletically, crashing those boards.
Gibson going to be pressed all the way up the floor. Gives it up. Maslish. Back to Rouse, who goes to Gibson. Jason Gibson gets a screen from Rouse. Kick out 3. Back iron, rebounded by St. Andrews, trying to tie it up on that one.
He didn't look like he wanted any parts of that three-pointer right there.
Blyzen going to be patient with it. Hayes, and they're going to call the blocking foul. Rouse didn't move his feet quick enough.
Yeah, he's been having a tough fourth quarter here. Defensively, I think the speed of St. Andrews is kind of getting it to him.
And it looks like they're going to sub him out.
Yeah, it's and we see this in all levels of ball. It's hard to play a big man that probably can't move his feet as fast. Small ball lineups, and you kind of have to force the substitution and getting one of their better players out of the game.
First one goes on the front end of the 1-and-1.
And just going forward.
Both teams got free throws coming, right?
Yeah. Both teams going to be in the bonus.
Can't hit the second. 4-point game, 4 minutes to go, fourth quarter. Inside, Lewis.
Oh,
they're going to say he pushed.
Whoa.
That's a tough call.
That's a very tough call because it's about to be out of bounds. I don't know if they said, did he hold him? And now it's going to be free throw. So you go from about to get the ball, about to try to go up 6 to now Sidwell might get these, cut it down to 2. But, of course, ref had a better angle than us. So
we
he
had
probably
the same angle. We're down on the floor. Come on, man. First one goes.
Hey, man, I gotta support the. It's a union thing.
Lewis
Timeout.
gets them both, and timeout Quakers. Lewis is perfect on his free throws. If it is way too cold to get out to the game, I'd like you to know that you can take the game with you wherever you are. You can watch the high school basketball showcase presented by WGL on Monumental Sports Network's iOS or Android mobile app. So you can stay cuddled in bed with that Snuggie. You don't even have to get out in the cold. You can go room to room with it.
I was watching Howard versus Harvard yesterday on the app. I had to go out because I went to the Wizards Pistons game, but then while I was there on my iPad, I was watching Howard versus Harvard. So definitely take it everywhere. You have on-demand action. So I think 24 hours after this game, you can watch this classic all over again. Actually, before you watch the Flint Hill Murray game tomorrow, you should watch this game to kind of set up the stakes for that game tomorrow.
By the way, I got to point out that the Monumental Sports Network app, you get exclusive access to complimentary tickets.
Yep.
I had tickets hit my inbox today. This isn't me doing a read. This is me living my life. I got an email, checked it, and I got offered tickets to the Pacers game next Wednesday. So.
Yep.
So I'll be in there as a fan unless that someone hands me a microphone.
Well, you never know. Buck, you might get a cold, and you may have to go on.
Well, I think I'm like the 5th string. So if like Buck goes down, West goes down, there's a long train, and then I come in out of nowhere.
Well, like I said earlier, if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready.
Well, yeah. So getmonumental.com. With the app. Perks like that's a phenomenal perk that I didn't know, and it's my birthday week, so I'll enjoy some free hoops. As that one goes out of bounds, and Sidwell will get the ball and a chance for a free hoop.
Yeah, that's a tough possession.
So 2-point game. Again, Sidwell has led at the end of every quarter, and the most important quarter to lead at the end of is, of course, this one. So right now they trail by 2. They got 3:20 to work with. So one's going to go baseline into the near side corner. Maslish surveys. 10 to play with. Into the corner. Lewis, baseline, doesn't go. Tied up on the rebound and ripped away by Hayes.
Great pass.
And a great
transition.
Finish. Spencer Hayes out of nowhere. And what a second half he's had. That was his first non-3-point play finish. .235 to go, 10 seconds to shoot. Gibson needs to create. It's been big in the second half. Drives through.
Nice.
Can't get the roll. St. Andrews. Kick out top. Great extra pass. 3. Smalls is huge for 3. 7-point game. 2:10 to go. We got to be careful. This student section's getting rowdy.
They're feeling good right now. 2 minutes to go. Up 7.
Time like this, you got to go to your playmakers. Got to find a way to get Gibson the ball. Jason Gibson the go-to.
Great play.
There he goes. High off the glass. Count it. He wants a foul.
Yeah.
We'll get a Sidwell timeout with a 5-point game.
And they have, great adjustment by Coach Jones. They have been pressured. As soon as he crosses half court, they've been pressuring. They've been extending their defense out, making him have to work even harder. But great back cut right there to get to the basket and get a very tough bucket. There's so many tough buckets. If we had to do a play of a game, I don't even know which one is probably the best out of all these great layups that I've seen today.
We'll give it a tough buckets. Right now, I would say Rouse was the early favorite. from Sidwell, I would say Gibson is really taking over. I'd lean his way. For St. Andrews, I'd lean at Spencer Hayes. I mean, he's come up big, an and-one machine. His energetic plays have really swung the momentum in a lot of ways.
Yeah, and the energy, the speed and athleticism is what set St. Andrews up, especially in the second half. They've really taken advantage. They feel that they're the more athletic team. They've got out and ran a little bit more, got some easy buckets in transition, because you mentioned earlier that Sidwell's defense is like Virginia. They're packed the line, and you're not going to get any easy buckets. How you beat that? You get out in transition and run.
Of course, Colin Smalls also has 12, including that big three, and he's been big. How many times can you say big in a row?
Yeah,
he's been important for St. Andrews.
I would say
three.
Colin Smalls.
Yeah,
I'll give it to Colin. And we didn't even mention Heru. That's their guy, but I'm not gonna say he's been quiet, but he's been doing the little things to help this team have the 5-point lead.
So Sidwell going to stretch out the defense. A little diamond press look, but it's easily broken by St. Andrews. 20 seconds to shoot.
And even though you're holding the ball, you can still execute good offense.
Sidwell does not have to foul just yet. You got to get a good defensive set here. 10 seconds. St. Andrews. Blyzen. Inside kick out. Hayes.
Shot.
It goes in. Spencer Hayes with a huge bucket.
He was upset that I was going to give player of the game to Collins, so he's like, nah, I'm going to hit this bucket.
7-point game. Sidwell needs to get another one back. Lewis doesn't fall. St. Andrews on the board.
Yeah, they have been monster on the boards, especially in the second half. Just one possession for Sidwell.
And you might, I know you still got the shot clock, but you might want to think about fouling, being down multiple possessions here. And we'll get timeout Lions to preserve possession. Smart job there by Coach Jones.
And now it's probably too late now to foul. You're going to have to play tight defense for the rest of this possession. And then do you go for a quick three? Do you go for a quick bucket and then play the foul game if you're Sidwell? But first you got to get this stop, get this ball back.
I mean, you got to get something going. I will say that St. Andrews has been shakier on the free throw line than the Quakers. Edwards and Smalls both with a couple misses. So nothing guaranteed from the line. I'd avoid fouling Spencer Hayes or Blyzen, but I think you make some headway fouling some of the other lines out there.
Yeah, and for Sidwell in this game, and they're number 12 in the post. They've been rising up in the polls this year. In this season, they've had a couple. They have had a really good stretch in this month. But hey, this is a MAC, and this is a tough road game for them. I don't know if this is what they thought this was a trap game. I'm looking forward for the rest of their schedule, but I think that we will definitely hear from them going forward as they try to win the MAC.
Talking to Coach Singletary, I don't think anyone in the MAC is going to be a trap.
Yeah.
The way Sidwell approaches it. Both of these teams, a lot of wins. 12-5 for St. Andrews, 14-3 for Sidwell, so they don't lose much. According to Max Preps, they're ranked. St. Andrews will be ranked 3, Sidwell ranked 7. As a little breakaway action, a break for Sidwell, perhaps they get that to fall. A Chifuzi with it, a quick timeout, so 5-point game once again.
So you're probably going to. So I think they're going to do a quick trap and see if they can get a turnover before they foul. They're probably going to try to see if they force the ball into the corner, trap there, see if they can get a turnover. If not, get the quick foul and hopefully get a couple misses. We are still at 7 fouls for each team, so they're going to be on the 1-1. So if there is a miss, they get a chance to get the rebound.
So it's still a huge opportunity with this one. Let's see what they choose to do. And if you're Sidwell, winning on the road in conference play is huge. The way the first quarter went, the way the third quarter went, There were moments where they were leading by double digits, but credit to St. Andrews. They hung around. They found a way. Smalls had his moments. Dylan Edwards had his moments. Blyzen had his, and Spencer Hayes has been the guy on the spot in the fourth quarter.
All right, let's see what happens here. I like having Heru bringing the ball in.
Into the corner, high lob, taken away by Gibson, goes up, hits it.
Why did he lob it?
And now a one-possession game. Shades of T-Mac. Shades of the Terps against Duke.
Oh, don't bring that up. You're a Terp. You're a Terp. How can you bring these?
I know. I know.
Men in Black, wipe that from your mind.
It hurts. Been hanging around Dan Nolan too long.
Yeah.
So now things have just gotten very interesting.
Yes.
Not that they weren't interesting, but now one possession game, and that is perfection from Sidwell. St. Andrews simply panicked.
Yes, and that's why it was interesting that they had Heru bringing the ball in, which I like. We have your senior; he's going to make the right decision of who to pass to.
You just got to get it back to him.
Yeah, got to get it back to him. I saw what they're trying to do. They're trying to do the skip pass, but just didn't get anything onto it because of the pressure by Sidwell, and they were able to get the turnover. It may have actually been tipped. It may have been tipped because that ball went like straight up in the air. Wow, that was. But you got to be calm. Got to forget about that. You have another inbound opportunity right here for St. Andrews. You got to be composed. And I think Sidwell, they know if they break it, they're going to foul immediately and take their chances. If they break this press right here, they're going to foul immediately, take the chances at the free throw line.
And Blyzen can run the baseline.
There you go. He does.
They get it in.
Get it back to him.
Get it right back to him. Slips through.
There you go.
Wide open, and it's Hayes with the easy lane. Sidwell, deep lob. Lewis for three. Doesn't go. St. Andrews on the board. And a foul with 3 seconds. And barring a wacky 4-point play, St. Andrews is going to hold serve.
Yeah, great comeback. I mean, even though it was a first half deficit, but way to stay composed. They never panicked. They chipped into the lead, and was able to take control of the game in the fourth quarter.
St. Andrews trailed at the end of every quarter, and it looks like they're going to lead at the end of the most important one.
There you go. Coach Jones will take that.
Smalls hits that first free throw. The students chant for Steve Zhao.
I'm sure Coach Jones appreciates that, but he's like, nah.
And that will do it. St. Andrews with a second half rally to stun Sidwell, 63-56. Upset City here in Maryland, a huge win. Our player of the game is Spencer Hayes, and he had an absolute phenomenal second half. Came up big, a pair of and ones, plus 2 late buckets as he helps lift St. Andrews to the win. And, of course, this was a big one in the MAC. We aren't done in the MAC. Tomorrow we head over to Fairfax as Murray travels to play Flint Hill, 6 p.m. tip-off. That will be another fun one and huge atop the MAC standings as St. Andrews keeps pace. Flint Hill right now up ahead, and they'll need to handle their business. Murray, a very tough out atop the Mid-Atlantic Conference. For all of our staff here at Monumental, for my producer, Yannick Skert, I am Brian Kapoor. So long from St. Andrews. We'll see you at Flint Hill, same time, same place, unless you're on the app, in which case you'll be in a different place.